Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Filip Hrgovic stops Demsey Mckean in the 12th round in what was an uninspiring fight, in my opinion. Going into this bout, I picked Hrgovic to win. I was expecting a performance by Hrgovic. I was expecting not only a win, but for him to try to regain some of that momentum he lost, following that performance against Zhilei Zhang and all of the inactivity, because when this guy turned pro, many people were excited about Hrgovic's future, including myself. So for me in this Demsey Mckean fight, I think he needed a performance. Of course winning is paramount, but I believe he needed to look good, and for me, he didn't look good. I felt at times Hrgovic looked uninterested. Cardio, once again, has to be questioned. Couldn't really sustain a high pace throughout this fight. At times he looked sloppy, very one-dimensional, just average, I would say. Just average. No dynamism to his game, just average, really average. And bear in mind, Demsey Mckean came in with a really good record. I think he was like 22-0 with 15 knockouts, but Demsey Mckean's a guy who turned to boxing late, no amateur pedigree, not really fought anybody of consequence in the pros. You would think a guy like Filip Hrgovic, a guy with crazy amateur pedigree, Olympic bronze medalist, European amateur champion, you think he would take care of this guy in a much better fashion, but Demsey Mckean made it a pretty competitive fight, I would say. And I saw the same guy from the Zhilei Zhang fight. The only difference was the guy he was fighting wasn't as good as Zhilei Zhang. I saw the same flaws defensively, the lapses in concentration, the body language that just, to me, displayed a lack of interest in the ring. Does this guy even like boxing? Does this guy want to box? Or is he one of those guys who just does it because he can make a bit of money? Because to me there seems to be no fire, no desire, never goes through the gears. And I don't know, man. Hrgovic, like I said, when he turned pro, I was excited. But the last couple of years, man, I'm off the bandwagon. Based on that performance, he's not going to beat any top heavyweight. None. Zero. Nada. Tyson Fury? No. Alexander Usyk? No. Anthony Joshua? No. Even Deontay Wilder? No. Not good enough in my opinion for the elite level. He started the fight okay. He started the fight relatively aggressively. Demsey Mckean obviously a southpaw like Zhilei Zhang, but he wasn't really letting his hands go early on. Just flicking the jab, trying to maintain range. Occasionally he'd fire his straight left hand and time Hrgovic in between his punches, but these shots really didn't have too much on them. And in the first half of this fight, Hrgovic really was able to physically bully Demsey Mckean, I guess. He was finding his overhand right on Demsey Mckean. It was like a looping overhand right, and it would catch Demsey Mckean squaring up, and he caught Demsey Mckean throughout with that shot, particularly in the first half, but throughout the fight. And that shot was working for Hrgovic throughout. And there was a couple of times in the first half where it looked like he buzzed Demsey Mckean. Occasionally, you would see glimpses of quality from Hrgovic with the counters. I want to see Hrgovic straighten that right hand up more, because primarily he throws it looping, but when he does throw it straight, he was countering at times effectively, really quick with that shot, but it was only now and again. There was only glimpses of quality now and again. But to me, it was too few and far in between. To me, for the most part, Hrgovic just looks to be forcing his work. It's not really coming off natural or fluid or anything like that. It's like he's forcing his work all the time. And if you watch Hrgovic back in the amateurs, the World Series of Boxing, and even his early pro fights, he had a much better rhythm to his game, was much more reliant on his jab, had a style similar actually to Vitaly Klitschko. That was the comparison he got when he turned pro. Look at Hrgovic in the amateurs. Look at how better he moved. Look at how better Look at how much more active he was with the jab. He looked quicker. I think a big problem with Filip Hrgovic is he's carrying too much weight. I think he was in the mid-240s for this fight. Well, early on in his career, he turned pro in the 220s, and I think that's the weight he operated in the amateurs, in the 220s. To me, that's where Hrgovic looked his best, when he was lean, athletic, quick feet, quick hands. That seems to be gone. There's no more dynamism there anymore. Don't get me wrong, he won the first half of this fight, but it's Demsey Mckean, you're supposed to. And you're supposed to look better doing it. Demsey was hanging in there, again, landing some jabs here and there, occasionally timing Hrgovic with his straight left hand. At the midway stage, Hrgovic started to look really tired. And, you know, to Demsey Mckean's credit, he started to take a few more risks, started to try to push Hrgovic back on occasion, and he did that a few times, landing the 1-2, sometimes for 1-2-3. He was catching Hrgovic at times with his right hook, and yeah, he was mixing things up more in the second half of this fight. Rounds 7, 8, and 9, I felt Demsey Mckean did pretty well. He was clawing his way back into the fight. But round 10 wasn't a great round for Demsey Mckean. Once again, he started out aggressively but got caught with an overhand right that buzzed him, and he was basically holding on for the rest of the rounds. And to be fair, Demsey Mckean was holding quite a lot throughout this fight, and he should have been penalised. I get that, and I get that sometimes it's hard to look good against that sort of guy, but despite the holding, I don't think Demsey Mckean would have got away with that against a better heavyweight. I really don't. But regardless, Hrgovic regained control in round 10. He buzzed Demsey Mckean. And yeah, round 11 was what it was. I can't even remember round 11. It wasn't a great fight. And round 12 was where the fight ended. Demsey Mckean realised he was behind. He was starting the round aggressively. But Hrgovic walked him onto a real big overhand right. That badly buzzed Demsey Mckean. Filip Hrgovic then unloads a few more shots. Demsey Mckean staggers back to the ropes, badly hurt. He manages to get off the ropes, but his legs are completely gone, and the referee then jumps in to wave it off. He never got dropped, but he was badly hurt. His legs were like jelly, and yeah, the referee waved it off. As soon as the referee called it, Demsey Mckean started complaining, and I can understand why the referee stopped it, because his legs were fucked, but as soon as the referee stopped it, he seemed to regain his footing kind of thing. So, bad stoppage. It's hard. It's one of those ones, really. It's one of those ones. But yeah, for me, this fight was messy. It was mauly. It was ugly. There was a lot of rabbit punching by Hrgovic. There was a lot of holding by Demsey Mckean. But all in all, yeah, Hrgovic got the win. Of course, that is most important. But I think we need to stop talking about Hrgovic as a legitimate threat to the heavyweight champions, because I've seen enough now. I don't think he is. I think he's wasted his potential due to a variety of reasons. Maybe that's for a separate video. But yeah, he's not the guy I saw in the amateurs. He's not the guy I saw in the World Series of Boxing. And even in his early pro fights, he just put his shots together better. I can't explain it. He was just quicker on his feet, quicker hands. He'd put 2 to 3 punch combinations together. You know, he would tattoo his opponents. That version of Hrgovic doesn't exist anymore. There were glimpses of it here and there, but I don't think that version exists anymore. All he does now really is pour that jab, look for the looping overhand right, rinse and repeat. Sometimes the lead uppercut or the right uppercut. Yeah, uninspiring to me. Dull, boring, messy. Yeah, it is what it is. Share your thoughts below. What did you make of Hrgovic's performance? Peace.